Aloha everyone, I'm Susan Nudowitz with letsfeelexcellent.com or the YouTube channel by the same name. I want to talk to you tonight about back pain. And the reason being is because it is so common. If you were to do a Google search on back pain, you would be led to so many different places. There are so many people wanting to know how they can live their life without this pain that stops them, this debilitating pain. The other reason is because this is, I think, body pain in general is very misunderstood by so many people, because I know that I didn't understand it when I was going through it, and also when I talk to people every day, friends and clients and neighbors and just all kinds of people, and they talk to me and they say, well, you do massage for back pain. I said, well, not really, not if people actually want a solution to that pain. They say, oh, I had pain once and I was in bed for a week or a couple of days or 2 weeks, even an extraordinary amount of time, just surprising people, taking them out of their life, rearranging their life for them. People are just bedridden for a certain amount of time because they just don't really know what's happening. And I think partially it's because people can't see what is happening. So I just wanted to take some time here and show you a little bit into what I see when I do a postural assessment with people, or how I see gravity running through people, and where in their structure, where in their architecture are they supported and where are they not supported. So I'd like to just show a couple of random pictures. I don't know these people at all. I just got these pictures off the internet, and I just want to show you a few different ones here. So let's take our very funny pain lady. Now she's a model and she's in a pose, so we can't really assess her, but she looks pretty balanced. She's also a young person, fairly healthy tissue. But I want to show you where where we can see some things that might look normal to other people, but could be more functional if these people feel pain or if they care about the condition of their joints. Okay, remember, you don't have to feel pain to have degeneration going on or have deterioration of your connective tissues in your joint. So let's just take this guy. I mean, just looking at him, he's obviously a content and happy person, at least in this moment. And I can't see him walk. I can't talk to him. I can't get any clues like that. But the first thing that I see with him is that he has a very wide stance. It's popular, it's common, and it's what we call an A-frame stance. This is why. Looks like an A-frame house, doesn't it? And let me just drop a plumb line through his middle here. Okay, so now gravity is going to push down on this man 33.5 pounds per square inch plus his weight is going to come down here. Everything is very well supported, pretty well supported, coming down his midline until we get to the hips. And then once we get out of the hips, there is absolutely no support for gravity, which means that everything or his muscles need to contract towards the midline because there's nothing here. There's only space here to hold him up. The other thing that I notice about him is that he has his hands on his back. And his hands are not on his hips. His hands are on his back. So this is either a habit position or he's helping his back because of probably the weight that's coming forward, but also there's no support from down here. This posture is very sturdy from the sides, from this direction. And this direction. Oops. Okay, it's going to be a wiggly arrow. But from front to back, this posture is not sturdy. That means that his back muscles need to do other things than they're designed to do to give him the support that he's lacking in his foundation. So if I was going to work with this individual, say he did have back pain and he came to me and he said, can you give me a massage? And I said, well, yeah, I can, but I cannot get your foundation underneath you. I cannot get two legs underneath you. Therefore, I cannot rehydrate this lower back, because that is what's happening when you have pain. You have dehydration of some sort going on. So I cannot rehydrate all the wrappings around this structure and around the muscles that are supporting this area that's hurting this individual until I get his feet underneath him. How am I going to do that? I'm going to partially do that by working manually with these structures. The tissue that is tight and dehydrated, I'm going to allow fluid to flow through there by unpinging the impingements. And I'm going to strengthen his anything that's weak, that's not working. And I'm going to do this from toe to head, because he has some stuff up here too. It could be just because of the photo, but this looks a little bit more than just the way he's looking at the camera, which is not really center. It's a little bit over here. But he's got a left tilt to his head. So in order for that to happen, then muscles on this side have to be a little bit more contracted. And if this is just in the neck and the shoulder that I'm talking about. But if this is a habit and not just a thing that's happening in the moment, then those muscles are going to get where the fascia is gluey and sticky, and they're going to need to be unstuck too. Not just on this side, but there'll be some things on this side as well. So I would encourage this person to work with me with both the leverage movement therapy and the structural integration to get his foundation supporting him underneath him, so he can alleviate all the tension that's happening in hips and his back and his head and his neck. And we're going to be making progress every single session, but this guy is really going to feel an amazing difference when this A-frame stance is no longer comfortable for him and the new stance is more comfortable for him. Let's look at her. Okay. And the first thing I notice, again, she's really having a good time at the beach. Her foundation is underneath her, but look how close her feet are together. And look at her bow-leggedness. So she's got some rotations in her lower legs. Her hips are far forward, so I can't see her from the side, so I don't know where that exactly is coming from. But I also notice her rib cage is, whoops, use this one. Her rib cage is it's shifted to the left. This is common, for people to have a shift in their rib cage. And it's got a rotation in it. It's got a tilt. Okay, you see that there? That's a tilt. And here's where it's short here. Although I'm going to be looking in the back of her to see where she's short as well. If I run a plumb line down her middle, oh, that's not quite where we want it. I can see different impingements in her as well. Not quite in the middle, but if I got it over a little bit more, you would still see a bunch of space in here. So if I could work with either one of these people for a number of sessions, once a week or once in every other week, that kind of thing, then I could help them come into a more functional pattern, as well as cleaning off their connective tissue so everything slides and glides and moves in ways that are easier for them. So many people will say, yeah, I was held up for a week, or a week is pretty common, or a few days, or up to a couple weeks. I was in bed and I just pulled a muscle. Well, first of all, you didn't pull the muscle. It's the dehydrated wrappings around the muscle, around the bone, and the dehydration of these structures that makes everything, it makes the connective tissue more gluey and more sticky, and that is what you pulled. And the reason you felt it is because there wasn't enough elasticity, there wasn't enough stretch in the tissue, there wasn't enough give in the tissue, and so the body sensed that something was going to be damaged, sent a message up to the brain, lickety-splickety, and then back down to the structure. And the reason it did this is because it said to the brain, hey, there's something down here that's going to break. Please help. And so that's where it sent a message to you. So it's either telling you, don't move, we're going to break, or don't move that way because the we don't have the stretch here. And that is what is happening. If you take care of this body temple that you're in and make everything so it does slide and glide, then it has the give to be able to do the movements that you want to do. Okay, so those are just two examples of some common postures. And, by and by I'll do some more, and you can see the different things that I see, and hopefully that will give you an idea about what structural integration is, what it can do, what leverage movement therapy is, what that can do for you, so that you can feel some ease, more lightness, and much more resilience in your body. I want you to have energy for the things that you want to enjoy, because these people are at the beach, they're looking like they're having a good time. If any of these people did have a back spasm, this is not the time when they would want to have it. In fact, there's no good time. You're always doing stuff. There's no time, I'm sure, in your life where you sit around and you say, you know what, right now, if I was ever to have a back spasm, right now would be a good time. There isn't, because you're always doing some other stuff. So you want to take care of your body, make it hydrated, bring it into optimal condition so that you can do the stuff that you want to do in your life. Okay? So if this was helpful, please share it with your friends or people that you know that have spines. And give me a thumbs up if you liked it. I look forward to your comments and your questions. I'm Susan Nudowitz, wishing you an excellent day. Aloha.